So after 2 rounds of the Six Nations, let's look ahead to the fixtures to come. Who's got a nice set of fixtures? And based on what we know, let's even make a guess on the projected final table because it's fun and why not. And in a couple of days I'm going to do a deep dive on the 6 teams, how they've actually played on the pitch, how their players and coaches have performed. Hopefully that's going to be in a collaboration style video. So welcome to this Six Nations video supported by Lifting Giants. Let's get into it with the team that is top of the table at the moment, the table on the side there, and that is Ireland. So after 2 dominant wins and their hardest fixtures on paper, France away, bonus pointed and out the way, Ireland managed to rotate and rest some players with some niggles versus Italy. Yeah, and they're sitting really, really nicely. And on a basic mathematical level, a really healthy points difference, and most importantly 2 bonus points, means they can probably afford not to pick up a bonus point or 2 in some later stage. Now from an Irish perspective, France coming back to snatch that win against Scotland is great because neither of those 2 sides can win the Grand Slam. England of course could win the Grand Slam, but you'd probably guess out of their 3 remaining fixtures, as you can see there, they'd probably lose one of them at least against Scotland themselves and France. So Ireland are well set as the best placed team, and looking at the fixtures it's looking fairly good. You would say Wales at home is the best next fixture, and that's what they've got. They should be able to put the band back together, their first choice players get the win and probably a bonus point win, and then they go back to back before the big charge, England then Scotland. On to second in the table, England, 2 wins from 2, but the slight proviso is no bonus points and a tiny positive points difference, and those 2 wins were against the 2 weaker sides, at least on paper. But winning does create a momentum and energy of its own. Getting over the line has been a good habit for Borthwick's England. But looking at England's fixtures coming up, it's probably the hardest out of all the nations. Scotland away, their bogey team away. They've lost 3 times in a row, only won 1 in the last 6. That's super tough to predict a win there. Then they go to Ireland, and then of course at the end France away. So it's a very tough run in, but winning breeds confidence. Maybe something could happen, but based on what we know, the outlook is somewhere between 2nd to 4th, but probably the lower end of that. Then just a word for our sponsor Lifting Giants. They make these amazing ergonomically designed, scientifically tested and proven lifting supports, nice and soft, fully reusable. You strap those to your legs instead of pieces of foam or other random things, and they actually help lifting, locking out, line out performance. So if you are a line out jumper or you know one and you want to do something nice to them, use the code RugbyAnalyst10 to get 10% off these lifting blocks. Now for Scotland, it's a stereotype, but round 3 seems like a massive tipping point for them. They were devastated with that last minute loss to France in round 2, and they will be expected to beat England at home, having beaten them, like I said, 3 times in a row. If they fail to do that, that would be shattering. So they should beat Italy in round 4, and their destiny, if they beat England, could be in their own hands in round 5. So it is all still on, but it's all about momentum, it's all about psychology. So depending on the England game, it could be 2nd, but all the way down to 5th maybe. So it's going to be fascinating to see how Scotland go. Then France, they're in 4th at the moment. And it was looking like France were going to be out of the championships until Biel Barry did that chip and chase against Scotland. And now the whole complexion has changed. And of course we can see that the 2 weaker teams are next. So no bonus point win so far, but a bonus point win versus Italy, that is vital, and it should happen because they're at home to Italy. You'd think after that, 2 wins on the bounce going into Wales away, they should get that done as well. Then they go to the England game at home, and maybe they could even be on for the championship in that last round. So France have been poor by their standards, but amazingly it is all still on. So let me know what you think. A projection, maybe 2nd, maybe even 3rd. Let me know if you agree with that one. On to the 5th place Wales, and they're in this strange position where they've lost 2 games, but they've actually got 3 bonus points. And after that really quiet first half against Scotland, they've actually let loose, they've gone for it, they've acquitted themselves well, even though they've lost. But looking ahead, Ireland away just seems an impossible task. Then France even at home, maybe that's a bit too hard. So maybe it is all shaping up for that final game against Italy. And if they get a big win, then, the young team can go away saying, yes, we've got some progress, we're young, but we finished on a high. If they lose, a big psychological blow. So maybe it's building up to that final game for them. But there is a strange scenario for Wales that even if they lose against Italy, if they pick up a couple more bonus points, they could finish above Italy in the table. That would be pretty bizarre. And talking of Italy, you have to say they've carried on from where they've left off in the World Cup, which is drastically underperforming in so many areas. The one thing that looks good is their attack, so maybe say round 4 at home to Scotland could be a tri-fest both ways. But yeah, it's really all about that away trip to Wales in round 5 to save some face. Italy, yeah, the under-20s have been doing really, really well. So maybe it's the next generation after this one that will break through in the Six Nations. It was looking like this generation was shaping up quite nicely, but they've been so disappointing so far. So outlook is 5th or more probably 6th. So for fun, let's go for a projected table from what we know so far. So it's not really my predictions, it's more of what could happen based on what we know. And Ireland there sitting pretty on 29 points because of course they'd win another 3 bonus points if they get all 5 wins for the Grand Slam. Then maybe France on 17 with 4 wins. Then we've got Scotland in the middle on 3, 14, England on 2, maybe 10. Wales with their 1 win on 7, and Italy on the bottom, but with a few bonus points. So let me know what you think of that projection. Let me know of the fixtures to come for your team. Are you excited by them? Do you think they're going to finish well in the Six Nations? Love to know all your thoughts, and I'll catch you next time.